Self-Management Awards of 2023. As Lee said, my name is Laura Boyce. I do work for STV, but by night I get to host lovely events, and I've been lucky enough to do this one a couple of times now, and it's genuinely an absolute highlight of the year. It's so lovely to hear stories of people doing such amazing things, and I'm glad that we can be back here to celebrate this again tonight. So if you've not been before, then the Self-Management Awards are an annual celebration of the very best examples of self-management practice across Scotland. And we welcome so many of you here with us tonight to showcase these outstanding individuals and organisations. Now, this is actually the first time since 2019 that we are holding the awards in person, because of course, we had lockdown and COVID. We did attempt the awards on Zoom. It was lovely. There was a lot of technical issues, including I was hosting them and my camera completely went down from point, but we got through it. However, we are so delighted to have you all in person here tonight. Now, every single person and organisation who was nominated and is especially shortlisted is so worthy of being here tonight. And I'm sure you will all join me in wishing them luck. As we get started, have a look at the programmes on your table there for more information and contact details for all of our wonderful shortlists. Let's sing you like just the song. Now, speaking of homes, we do of course want to let everyone know that the Self-Management Awards are happening and all about the best self-management happening in Scotland. So the Alliance team will be live tweeting about tonight from @Alliance and @Self-Management throughout the evening using the hashtag Self-Management23 and hashtag #ISelfManage. So if you use Twitter or X, or who knows what it's called now, but that X thing, if you use that, I'd like to encourage you to show your support and share the winner and shortlist over there. And any pictures you take tonight, we would all love to see them. We're also live streaming the ceremony, speaking of tech. So good evening to everyone joining us through that route. Now, the award ceremony is part of Self-Management Week 2023, which, like the awards, the Alliance hosts every year to raise awareness of self-management. We're already over halfway through that week, and there have been some amazing sessions so far, including the benefits of connecting with nature for well-being, presentations from the Alliance digital team. Where are you, Alliance digital team? Give us a wave. I don't think they are over in the back corner. And lots of networking. Self-management, it is such an important part of managing long-term conditions and as a strategy for everyone to keep themselves well. Living with a long-term condition myself, I live with cancer. I've had it for 14 years now. I know that the importance of self-management all too well, so it really makes it extra special for me to be here tonight. Now, we have got strategy for everyone to keep themselves well. On yourself, the self-management strategy for long-term conditions in Scotland is now 15 years old, but self-management is still as relevant, if not more, than ever. The importance of considering people whose lives and circles of support is a message the Alliance, along with members and partners, continue to promote. You'll have seen that the thoughts are already turning to the next 15 years of self-management in Scotland. So make sure you contribute your hopes for those next 15 years on our beautiful hope tree hanging in the corner there. And I see some of you have already done that, so that's really lovely to see. Now we've got some special guest speakers tonight as well. You're not just going to be hearing from me. We are delighted to be joined by Gillian Mackay, MSP, our sponsor for the Self-Management Awards. Gillian is the Scottish Greens Health and Social Care spokesperson and MSP for Central Scotland. So, Gillian. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Laura, and it's lovely to see you all again. And thanks to the Alliance for having me back. I must not have done too badly last year to be allowed back again. What struck me when reading through the booklet for tonight and all the details of all of the projects was, one, the diversity of the projects that we have in the room, both geographically and in terms of topic and condition as well, but also the diversity in the voices that you all promote. The projects that you run a lot of that is often quantified or tried to be quantified in terms of what it produces in terms of economic benefit, what we get out of the money that goes into your projects. But I think the one thing we all forget, and the one thing that we actually can't quantify in debates or in committees in the chamber or through reports, is the individual difference that every single one of your projects and your organisations makes to the people that you support. Those individual stories of transformation of lives and support, that no one can put that economic price on. And I really hope that you all know your value and the amazing difference that every single one of your projects make. Thank you all so much for your work. I know many of those projects are made even more difficult with the current economic times that we are facing, and the people that you are supporting are facing too. Keep up the good work. Congratulations to every single one of you on your nominations. Well done to all the winners when it comes. And please do invite MSPs out to see all of your projects. We love a visit. Love getting out the chamber and going in and seeing people. So make sure you invite your MSPs to come out and see it, to come and see what you're doing, and take those stories back to the decision makers in the chamber and in government to make sure that we continue these really amazing projects and keep telling those stories of the wonderful work that you're all doing. Really looking forward to the rest of this evening and hearing from speakers and hearing about all the wonderful projects again. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gillian. Now, another speaker who was here last year who stuck in my mind because his story was just incredible was the 2022 Self-Management Champion of the Year, Darren Crocker. Now, we're delighted to have Darren with us tonight. Darren, have you escaped, or are you, he's got a 5-month-old basically, so I'm thinking, is this a nice place for you? So we're very lucky to have Darren with us, but a little bit about his backstory. In his teens and 20s, Darren struggled on and off with gambling, mostly on sports betting, which manifested into casino games and roulette. At the height of his addiction, Darren was chaotically betting on pretty much everything. Now in his 30s, Darren is closing in on 9 years gambling free. I think that deserves a happen. During this time, he has volunteered for a gambling crisis support line, was an active Alliance Forum member, talked openly about gambling harm on various platforms, and an active member of the Big Step, a campaign to end gambling advertising in football. Darren is also active on social media, where he raises awareness and offers peer support to others via his Instagram page, Rule It Out. He currently works for GamLearn, a charity who has a focus on individuals who have experienced the criminal justice system due to gambling, and for the Alerts, a lived experience group who work alongside support providers to help improve their services. In short, he is an incredible man and an inspiration. So tell us more about his story. Please put your hands together for that.
Right. Okay, so I'd like to start off by thanking the Alliance for inviting me back this year and for the nomination last year, to share parts of my story. I would need hours, not minutes, for this, because gambling harm is very complicated. Anyway, I would also like to congratulate this year's nominees and soon-to-be award winners. Your work individually and collectively has been seen, which is very important, but it's also been valued. So congratulations to everyone here. I'd also like to acknowledge everyone who works hard to raise awareness of the gambling harm space, and to those who support and bring others up publicly and privately. So arguably, I would say I'm here because I'm visible, I'm online, doing my thing, but there are a lot of fantastic people who do inspiring work quietly, without any fanfare, that don't get recognized. So I just want to say that I see them and I appreciate them too. So speaking of visibility, to be part of the speech. Gambling addiction is often called the invisible addiction, as it can be difficult to spot unless you know what you're looking at. It's a psychological illness. It's often hidden by the gambler themselves, and isn't as obvious to say, you know, someone under the influence of drugs and alcohol, but I would say that that could often be hidden too. If there's one thing that I've learned over the years is that gambling harm doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone, family member, a friend, a colleague, a stranger passing in the street, someone sitting in this room. Chances are that you at least know someone. So, where did it all begin? Where did it all go wrong? When did it all start going right again? Okay, we'll get all the dark bit first. We'll get lighter from that. So, for as long as I can remember, I have been exposed to gambling in one form or another. Growing up in Aberdeen, I have vivid memories of the seaside arcade there. It's called Corona's, it's still there. It's not very good. And I was obsessed with penny pushers and arcades and that kind of thing. I even remember the first time that I felt lucky. So I was on holiday with my parents to Butlins, which also had an arcade, of course. And I'll never forget the amazement of there was a claw machine there, and there was stuffed monkeys, toy monkeys, and one came out that was attached to several other monkeys. It was because of the design flaw, so there was a Velcro pad sticking to the monkeys. So one became several, but that had a massive effect on me, and I'll never forget that. And as I say, it's the first time I felt lucky. But that always stuck with me. So you know, and I won a PlayStation when I was 12 from a scratch card type promo in a kids magazine. So congratulations, you're one of 10 winners of a PS1 World League soccer game. I don't even need to look at that because it's all in my head. And you know, so then from then on, Sunday newspapers, scratch cards, competitions, I got very obsessed with it. I remember the very first TV show in the National Lottery in 1994. Everyone had a ticket on for that. I remember gambling in the school playground. I remember trading football stickers. I remember looking up to the lads at football at the weekends from the sidelines, and I remember there'd always be betting there. I remember walking home from nightclubs as I spent my bus money on machines. I remember how much I enjoyed a weekend bet. I remember enjoying gambling until I didn't enjoy it anymore. So where did it all go wrong? It wasn't until I started playing roulette that I would personally consider my gambling to become something that was relatively in check to something which completely took over my life. So I go from spending 10 minutes in the bookies on a weekend to spending all my time sitting on the fixed odds betting terminals at every bookies in my local area. So these machines are designed to be addictive, and they can take a lot of money from you very, very quick. I'd make false promises to myself if I could just win the money back that I'd lost, or just even accept a loss, I'd go home. And I was very desperate to go home, I genuinely was. But instead, I'd find myself outside the cash machine, literally pacing back and forth, stalling to find some sort of mental clarity. But I'd always end up withdrawing as much money as I could for the day and put it back at the machines. And quite often I'd go home and continue into the night and gamble online. Some evenings I was so glad to be broke because at least it was over for a while. I'd go on to blow thousands of pounds on several occasions online. On my worst evening, I gambled £5,000 in just 10 spins of the roulette wheel, with £500 bets on just black or red. But by this point, I had no idea where to turn or what to do. But I always say it was never really the money that was my biggest loss. It was a destruction to my mental health. So I was unwell at this stage of my life, just trying to hold things together whilst attempting to avoid not taking too much of a financial hit or dragging anyone else down with me. I'd hold down work, relationships, but I was fighting an internal battle that no one else really knew about. And it was like mental warfare. It was exhausting and it was terrifying. So I used to gamble as a way to cope with my feelings, but it would detach me from my emotions as well. So in a way, I kind of see my gambling as a form of self-harm. And I made peace with the fact that I was probably going to mess up my life and be gambling forever. Anyway, it's not so dark now. So this is how it was. It's no longer who I am. What changed? So a work colleague of mine was training to be a life coach. She asked if I wanted free coaching as a part of her qualification, and I initially scoffed at this because I scoffed at everything back then, especially anything with mindfulness. And my stubbornness to try new things got in the way, but I really needed help, and I knew it was time. So over the course of 2 months, I took coaching seriously, and I opened up in a way that I'd never had before. It's hard to describe, but something mentally changed within me, like a secret door being unlocked in my head that I didn't even know was there. And I'd also received a diagnosis for ADHD at the time as well. So it kind of felt like holding a mirror up to myself. So for the first time, I felt clear, fresh, focused, empowered, and out of the gambling fog. So the perfect storm of my diagnosis, coupled with the coaching, self-management techniques, the medication, completely changed my life. So I'll forever be thankful for that coach for taking the time with me. So with my new outlook, I started to meditate, use hypnosis, two more things, skip that, and read about how habits work within brain chemistry, educated myself a bit, safeguarded my finances, put blocking software on all my devices, became healthier mentally and physically, and thinking more positively and talking more positively to myself and others. And I opened up to my girlfriend at the time, and we started having honest and open conversations with myself and with her. Anyway, I'm happy to report that my girlfriend at the time is now my wife, and mum to baby. See, I knew when I was there, I say that. Anyway, her name's Robin. I don't want to thank her. Yeah, the first few months were tough as I replaced one addiction with another. So I'd spend my free time in and out of charity shops and boot sales, hunting for rare video games to sell for a small profit. So this dopamine hit chasing, you know, when you stop, you need to replace that with something else. But it kept me out of the bookies. So as the days and months passed, I made a promise to myself that I could go 2 years gamble free. I've looked back to gift for those who were struggling. And close to 9 years later, I am well into that commitment. So you'll have heard the introduction, some of the projects I've been working on now and in the past, which will give you an insight into just how different life is now for me. Thanks to everyone who's seen value in me and given me a chance to thrive. But I still actively have to work on myself every single day. I'm going to talk about self-management now. Okay. So self-management for me isn't about regularly using the mindfulness tools I've learned and picked up, because the truth is I don't. But it's about having the self-awareness of understanding of when to hit the brakes, when to slow down, and use some of these tools if and when I need to. I still get triggered by gambling every now and then, but I usually see that as a good thing, because I'm completely in touch with who I am, how I'm feeling, and why I'm feeling it. If I feel a flutter in my stomach or have some anxiety, I simply see it as my body and mind keeping me safe, and I'm nowhere close to gambling. Self-management is working on my own personal development whilst maintaining a balance. Self-management is a consistent organization structure to my life, which admittedly hasn't put to the test lately. Self-management is being authentic and being kind to myself and others, whilst also continuing to learn, adapt and grow in a space which can often be political and all-consuming if you allow it. I'll save time at the end for a little political run. That's right. Thank you. Don't worry. So you may have heard that the government are finally reviewing the UK Gambling Act to bring up to speed of the digital age. From advertising to affordability checks to speed limits and statutory levies to fund support and research, one thing's for sure, it's complicated and not everyone will be happy. I sympathise with not only those who suffer from gambling harm and to those who are directly affected, but to ordinary gamblers and workers who are being caught up in what's become, in my opinion, a bit of a hot mess. The world is changing fast, and so is technology, and the way people gamble. For example, the lines between gaming and gambling have never been clear. Crypto has taken off massively, as are streamers and affiliates. I worry that the government are already behind the curve in several key areas. The gambling industry is a juggernaut and is very, very good at what they do. They're also going to adapt and change. And I'm not going to stand here and tell you not to gamble. But obviously, I'm not going to encourage it either. But do your homework first. You might be surprised with what you find. We need more awareness and we need more education so people can feel empowered to make the right choice for them. While the white paper was delayed several times and passed around Westminster, I wanted to know the answer to three simple questions closer to home. Is there provision for more treatment and support in Scotland? What does this look like? When's it happening? Unfortunately, I stand here in front of you no closer to getting any answers. When I was gambling, there was two support options available to me in Scotland, along with Gamblers Anonymous and the National Gambling Helpline. Although not perfect, enough it is, England forges on. There's several NHS gambling clinics with more planned residential programs and with a more diverse range of treatment and support available across the country. In Scotland, we still have 2 support options available, along with Gamblers Anonymous and the National Gambling Helpline. And this is no knock to any of them. They're doing vital work in a space that's crying out for more. And in my opinion, the pathways to treatment and support could and should be better. But to use a gambling term, you can only play with the cards you've been dealt. I'd like to finish with this. Until gambling harm is seen as a public health matter, we're leaving people who desperately need help in the dark. To the policymakers and to the people that need to hear it, I respectfully say this. Yes, they call gambling the invisible addiction, but I can promise you that it's here, it's now, and if you look in the right places, it's really not hard to see. Thank you.
And thank you so much for that. It was incredibly powerful. And I know you got emotional talking about baby Robin, but I am sure in years to come, she's going to be so proud when she hears about all that her dad has done, how he's sharing his story to help take other kids. So thank you for that very much. Now we have another speaker. Now we have the Minister for Public Health and Women's Health, Jenny Mackay, who has taken time out her very busy schedule to come and join us tonight. So putting it from the Parliament, please put your hands together for Jenny Mackay.
Thank you so much. And yes, I have literally walked at breakneck speed up the hill to get here. So apologies if I suddenly stop talking because I've lost my breath. Darren, thank you for that. I got the end of your speech and very aware of gambling. And in the next few weeks, maybe even few days, I was trying to get the phone, and I have got a meeting about gambling. So in Scotland, so very timely, and I very much appreciate the honesty. And as you said, it's the stories of people that make differences when we're trying to pull together policies. So I'm so glad I caught the end of your speech. So thank you for that. I have the privilege, as well as being the Minister for Public Health and Women's Health in Scotland, of representing, and I'm going to take a deep breath here because I don't know who's all in the room. I have the privilege of representing Scotland's most beautiful constituency, which is Argyll and Bute. And when I moved to Islay about 12 years ago, almost exactly 12 years ago, it was this kind of stuff that really energized me. What people do within their communities and support others. And so I am really very delighted to be here and thank Gillian for all the work that she's been doing in this area. We've been working together quite a bit recently. So it is a real genuine pleasure to be able to speak to you in person. And I know we're kind of sick of hearing this line, but it is really important to be in person. And I know the amazing work that you did throughout lockdown and what you continue to do now. And I know this is going to be a fantastic event, and it's a wonderful opportunity to pay tribute to your achievements over the past year. So thank you all for coming. I'd also like to thank the team at the Alliance, not only for the amazing job they've done in organising tonight's awards event, where you will hear more about some truly inspiring organisations and people, but also working so hard to ensure that the online version over the last few years were such a showcase event when we couldn't meet in person. And I know the Alliance understand just how important it is to have these opportunities, not only to recognise all the good things going on in self-management, but also to say thank you to you for your tireless work in enabling people to be in the driving seat of their health and well-being. I've had a pretty full-on day. I think this is my 6th speech that I've had to do today. So I'm very much looking forward to hear more about self-management and where I'm going right and where I'm going wrong. You may be aware, it was back in 2008 that we published Scotland's self-management strategy, Go On Yourself, which championed a person-centred approach to self-management and really pushed the idea that people can actively contribute to successfully managing their own health and well-being. We know that a person-centred approach helps to deliver care that people really, really value. Building on this, through shared decision-making and personalised approaches and exploring wider factors that influence people's health ensures we can fully support their well-being. When we focus carefully on self-management approach that seeks to listen carefully and understand the preferences, strengths and challenges faced by the individual in front of us, then self-management can also have a positive impact on tackling health inequalities. Now, I live in Argyll, mainland and islands, and I was speaking to one self-management help group, and they were saying we planned something for one of the islands and thought, great, we can use it on that island as well. No, islands are different and people are different, and this is what self-management allows us to recognise and act on. The Self-Management Fund was developed from the Go On Yourself strategy, and for well over a decade now has been successfully administered by the Alliance on behalf of the Scottish Government. Including the most recent round of funding, we've provided just over £26 million in the Self-Management Fund since 2009. And this has supported the development of 432 new ideas and projects. Think how many people that's helped, 432 projects. These projects cover the length and breadth of Scotland and put the experience of people living with long-term conditions and their carers at the heart. We have provided help and support to people with a diverse range of long-term conditions who I know greatly value the work of the third sector in adapting and responding to their needs. As you know, self-management isn't about going it alone. Everyone has a role to play in supporting self-management, and there are huge benefits to health and social care systems in this. In fact, I was talking about this at one of my other engagements today, the importance of health and social care and third sectors working cohesively and connected and thinking about the community that we serve. The Self-Management Fund has offered a unique opportunity for community voluntary organisations and partnerships to develop new ideas and strengthen existing approaches which help people to shape how they want to be supported around the things that matter to them. They clearly demonstrate how fundamentally people's lives can be changed when they are supported in this way. And I'm delighted to hear about the nominees tonight who have received some assistance from the Self-Management Fund. Self-Management Awards are a great opportunity to showcase the people and communities who are making such a difference by supporting others. Tonight provides us with the opportunity to come together, to reflect on, and more importantly, to celebrate the amazing, inspiring and innovative work to support self-management across Scotland. I'm so happy to be able to personally congratulate you all on your achievements over the last year. These awards really do underline our appreciation of your work and highlight the real and powerful difference you are making with the people you support and their families and carers. Congratulations to all the nominees, and thank you all for your hard work. And I know it's hard work, but I also know you get so much from it as well. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening. Thank you.
So much, Jenny, for joining us. It's really managed to put your feet up now and get something. They're relaxing and enjoy it. Well, now, are you ready for the big moment of the evening? We're going to have the 2023 Self-Management Awards. Now, we have 7 categories featuring fantastic people and projects that are truly making a difference out there, despite continuing pandemic pressures. We will introduce each and announce the winner in each category, and then invite a short response. So you don't have to say anything, but we're going to say it. Now, before we do all that, someone you might just recognise has got a quick message for you all.
Hi there, how's it doing? It's Greg Clark here. Just want to say huge congratulations to all the shortlisted nominees for the 2023 Self-Management Award. It's so important to show what self-management can look like and why it is important. Thank you.
Gonna get rid of it. I just watched the days, of course, on heart radio and various other things. So it's it's time for our first category. It is the self-management resource of the year in partnership with ALICE, a local information system for Scotland. Now, this award recognises the resources online and offline that genuinely add value to the lives of individuals, enabling staff working in health and social care to deliver services more effectively and provide invaluable information, support and advice on self-management. So, shortlisted are
Moira Anderson Foundation Hands-on Health Self-Management Programme. This 12-week self-management programme was co-produced by clients and staff with lived experience of long-term health conditions. It is delivered by people with long-term health conditions. The course incorporates stress management, personal development, relaxation, and elements of complementary therapy for home use. Participants learn a range of tools and techniques they can incorporate into everyday life to manage their health conditions and improve their health and well-being and quality of life. Benefits reported by participants include improved physical, mental, and emotional health, increased capacity to manage health/condition, feel more in control of health, and feel more supported. Scottish Ballet Duet. Scottish Ballet is Scotland's national company with a mission to inspire on stage and beyond. SB Health is Scottish Ballet's health initiative. Since 2013, they have been dancing with young people who have faced adversity and families who live with neurological conditions. With the help of these communities and their partners, they have developed 7 dance health programs. FB Duet is a suite of digital dance resources for people with reduced mobility to share with their companions or carers. Duet can be safely accessed by both in bed, at the bedside, or seated in care homes, hospitals, or at home. Swan Pre-Diagnosis Group. Swan is an autistic-led charity delivering services, information and support for and by autistic women and girls and non-binary individuals across Scotland since 2012. Exploring whether one is autistic and going through the diagnostic process can be long, difficult and confusing, and it can be hard to find relevant and reliable resources and information. The group is a safe space to explore what it means to be autistic and talk about diagnosis options and the experience of going through the process, asking questions and meeting others. It is a one-stop resource for everything, an individual who is considering whether they might be autistic.
all incredible organisations there, but there could only be one winner.
Golden envelope, this. Very nice. Swan Pre-Diagnosis.
Congratulations to Swan. Well done. It's a lovely award.
Well done, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this. Nothing really prepared, but just wanted to say a big thank you for the nomination. Thank you for the award and thank you to Alliance for the support. Also wanted to say a big thank you and well done to Becky, who is our project lead on this project. So massive well done and thank you for that from me. I don't know if you were wanting to say anything.
Just to say a huge thank you. Being an autistic woman in a neurotypical world isn't easy. We often are hidden and we often find it difficult to access support. And I have the absolute privilege of being able to provide a safe space for autistic women to come and explore their identity and meet amazing women through the support. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say as well, like I'm a trustee at Swan, but I really speak from first-hand experience as to how important this organisation is, because I first accessed Swan for support. I went along to some of the groups, and so I know firsthand how impactful and how supportive it is for self-management as well. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done. Brilliant work they are doing this. Now, next up, we have the Self-Management Champion of the Year, awarded in partnership with the Humans of Scotland. This award celebrates people who are geared to helping to encourage and inspire others to self-manage and spread the self-management word. And along with anyone who has made positive changes to their life by taking the self-management approach, living their life better, but on their terms. Yet again, this year, we have a short list of 4 in this category, as the judges found it so hard to narrow down the nominations. But here are about 4.
June Dixon. June has been nominated for this award because of the significant and empowering work she has done in local communities over the past few years. She has trained and empowered hundreds of people in first aid and mental health qualifications, which has had a ripple effect on local communities during the pandemic and the cost of living crisis. The most significant focus has been to create a safe and supportive environment for participants, which has been particularly needed throughout the ongoing challenges of the pandemic, where everyone's mental health has been constantly challenged. June has also reminded everyone of the importance of self-management of their own self-care and managing boundaries when supporting others. Michelle Harrison. Michelle is an incredible human, very unassuming and quietly strong. She encourages, supports, and empowers those around her. Despite a lifetime of significant physical, social, and emotional challenges, she has dedicated her life to helping others learn to self-manage and believe in themselves and their unique qualities. Michelle has volunteered every week for the last 25 years, accruing over 1,200 hours of volunteering, most of which have been focused on helping to encourage and inspire others to self-manage and spread the self-management message. Amanda McBride. Amanda is a member of the Long COVID Lived Experience Network at the Alliance and has been living with long COVID since 2020. She is a paramedic and caught COVID very early into the pandemic whilst out on an ambulance job at work. Since then, she was off sick from work for almost 3 years, living with long COVID and isolation with very little support outside of a close group of friends. Her long COVID symptoms have been physical, but have also affected her mental health in a serious way. She lives with CPTSD as well, along with her long COVID after the trauma of contracting COVID at her workplace. Debbie Vithi Yan Andan. Debbie is a young disabled woman originally from Sri Lanka and a member of the Glasgow Disability Alliance. Debbie left Sri Lanka during the Civil War and as a disabled migrant in Scotland has found success exemplifying self-management for herself and others. Debbie's ambition through achieving self-management is to work closely with other disabled people, particularly individuals with mental health related impairments, and support the conditions which in turn enable others to achieve self-management.
We have it, 4 incredible women there, but who is the winner this time?
Michelle Harrison.
I just wanted to say, we did Michelle a bit of a disservice there because actually it was not 1,200 hours, it was 12,000. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm absolutely, I don't know what, I'm speechless at what the word is. So I'd just like to say thank you to Sarah and Claire from Volunteer Edinburgh, who's been with me on my journey through volunteering, and also all my family and everyone who supports me at the Bipolar Edinburgh, the Wellbeing Group, which I've facilitated for 12 years and got so much mutual support there. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks. Well, for somebody who was speechless, that was a lovely speech. Well, we have another award next, and I think it's all going to be on the screen this time. So, oh, in fact, wait, we don't. Michelle, Well, we
How you doing? It's
special
Gillian
things for you,
here. I want to say a massive congratulations to Michelle for having myself management campaign of the year 2023. I've been told that people owe you more than words can say, so congratulations to you. I love you.
So how did you hear that? How would you do it? Gillian went through on the concert when you wanted to go through the attitude, so we managed. Yes. So we managed. Yeah, that's special message. You just have a lovely calendar. Thanks very much for that as well. Now, we have award.
And the three finalists for the Digital Innovative Self-Management Award are Long COVID, My Taylor Talks, Chest Heart and Stroke Scotland, Pogo Digital Healthcare and NHS Lothian. Chest Heart and Stroke Scotland, CHSS, is working with NHS Lothian and Pogo Digital Healthcare to deliver a groundbreaking digital platform that brings primary care and third sector services seamlessly together for the first time. The platform, called My Taylor Talks, has been developed by Pogo Digital Healthcare and has been jointly funded by NHS Lothian, CHSS and the NHS Lothian Charity, formerly Edinburgh and Lothian's Health Foundation, with £120,000 investment in the platform so far. It will allow GPs to refer patients automatically to CHSS's long COVID support services and to provide tailored self-management information to patients. Long-term Conditions Heritage, LTCH. LTCH is a non-profit voluntary organisation set up in 2018 by people who have long-term conditions for people who have long-term conditions. LTCH provides inclusive activities to help vulnerable people help themselves. Digital technology has transformed the way that LTCH supports its members. By using modern digital media, LTCH has expanded the services it offers to benefit more isolated people living in the rural communities on the Western Isles and beyond. NHS 24 online app. The NHS 24 online app is the latest online offering from NHS 24, which is Scotland's provider of digital and telephone-based health and care services, such as the 111 service and NHS Inform. The app was developed to provide the public in Scotland with an additional digital channel to access accurate and trusted health information. NHS 24 worked in collaboration with Clustered Reply, a Microsoft partner, empowering patients within Scotland's NHS 24 online app. Included within the app's functionality is chat with us, find a service, push notifications.
Again, three amazing nominees there, but Gillian, can we open that and look good?
Thanks, so this one's really well glued down. Long-term conditions Hebrides.
We made that very.
Thank you very much. What we do, we're all volunteers, we all help each other, support each other. And I think the biggest testament to the way we've improved our digital services. These two ladies have been members. Hormones, a committee member, and this lady is an activities coordinator. They haven't met before today. They are spread out for the Western Isles. And we've got an awful lot. We try to do what we can, but 14 people can't do. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Can I just say one thing? Of course. Well, I know there's a lot of members who are watching the live stream. So, this one's for you guys.
You mean, everybody down there missed the faces there that went, we're in a tough category.
I know, and I think you say there's only 14 of you, but you're obviously making an incredible difference. So I think that makes it even more special. And thank you so much for traveling down to be with us today. So it's lovely to have you. I hope you enjoy meeting in person first time. Now, gosh, how did we follow on? The next award is Self-Management Through the Arts, one very close to my heart, and it's awarded in partnership with Economic Line. This award celebrates people or projects who support people to take part in, watch, or otherwise use the arts to support self-management. This is another category we had a short list of 4 because the judges found it so hard to include it, but here.
Musical, move on up. By focusing on nurturing talent, building skills, developing confidence and bringing people together and therefore enabling participants to fulfill their potential and enjoy their life, musicals work breaks down barriers, changes perceptions and tackles the exclusion young people with disabilities frequently experience. Through music, the Move On Up project works with young adults who have learning disability or are neurodivergent and are currently going through or have recently gone through the impactful transition of leaving the additional support for learning education to build their competencies and develop skills they can apply in other aspects of their lives. Sharing a Story CIC. Lorna Hill, founding director of Sharing a Story CIC, leads a small community organisation in East Lothian. They use creative writing, shared reading and other creative activities and work in community settings with those at risk of social isolation. Research shows that empowering people through creative interventions can build self-confidence and self-esteem. Their innovative sessions encourage a positive and social focus for people in a safe and supportive environment. Groups they have worked with include survivors of domestic abuse, the elderly, people living with dementia and their carers, people with long-term physical and mental health conditions, people with acquired brain injuries and disengaged teenagers. Snowdrop Argyll. Snowdrop Argyll's mission is to support people affected by neurological and other long-term conditions, as well as anyone feeling socially isolated. Through many centre-based projects, activities and outreach services, Snowdrop supports people to be in control of the management of their own conditions by providing access to a wide range of complementary therapies, self-management workshops, accessible exercise classes, community food projects, music and craft activities, centre outings and campaign and awareness raising. Most recently, Snowdrop have been using participatory photographing as a method to empower people to self-manage their long-term conditions and mental well-being. Spider Arts Cambulance. Spider Arts is a community arts and wellbeing charity. The Cambulance is a fully equipped mobile art therapy studio that offers a calm and inviting space where children and young people can explore their emotions through play and art making and gain the confidence and skills to cope with their difficulties. The Cambulance ensures that all children in and around Glasgow have access to the mental health support they need and are not unfairly disadvantaged due to lack of availability of services in their area, their economic status or protected characteristics.
Well, all do fantastic work, but who is our winner this time?
It's Spider Arts. I'm just a buffer. Big buffer, but a buffer.
I can't be up here by myself because I haven't done this by myself. Spider Arts is a tiny organisation, but very much a grassroots community-led organisation. The people all sitting there with me today have brought us where we need to be. That Lorraine and Maeve, the trustees, have helped us get us where we need to be. And I think Gavin and Chris have done amazing things with volunteers to help get the ambulance equipped, decorated, ready for young people to use it. Chris did a join the boats to Land's End cycle to raise money. So everyone involved in the project has done their bit to help us provide the service that we provide to them. And really, I'm overwhelmed. The kids will say much more than that. No, I think it's the first of many ambulances that we're going to get, and hopefully get up through the islands and highlands and really have a massive impact. So it's a privilege to be up here amongst so many other great organizations. So I'll never do. Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I think I just want to go away and Google and find out more about all these organizations, or you can read about them in the book. So yeah, it's brilliant. Now we have a new report for this year, aiming to highlight projects where the focus was people being listened to and being able to change, influence the things that matter most. Empowering Self-Managed Project of the Year is being awarded in partnership with the Health and Social Care. Let's find out more.
Children's Health Scotland SMS Hub. Children's Health Scotland's Self-Management Skills SMS Hub work with young people from across Scotland living with a health condition, and we all come together for fun activities around health and well-being, which also promote friendships and social inclusion. Young people aged 9 to 17 come together for fun and self-management in the community, meeting online once a month. Their SMS Hub provides packs filled with goodies and learning. We work in partnership with several organisations, for example, the Glasgow Science Centre, Village Storytelling and Relax Kids. This allows our young people in our SMS Hub to build a wider community and a great support network. Dundee Volunteer and Voluntary Action, the Mental Wealth Academy. The Mental Wealth Academy seeks to create one front door for individuals and organisations who wish to make the most of lived experiences of recovery and mental health challenges. The Academy is a peer-led group of experts by experience and professionals focusing on developing and sharing learning about experiences of mental health, well-being and recovery. For individual participants, it provides personal learning, development and accreditation opportunities. For organisations and networks, it provides access to lived experience perspectives which can strengthen community involvement, research and decision-making. North Highlands Women's Wellbeing Hub. The Hub is an entirely volunteer-led, lived experience non-profit group which is raising awareness for women's health in the Highlands and campaigning for health improvements around women's health. Under the Hub, they run 4 support groups for endometriosis, menopause, period health and general women's health with over 600 members. It is a little community for women in the North, offering safe spaces for women to really be themselves. Tackling inequalities, isolation, loneliness and taboo subjects. In just a year, they have run a number of awareness-raising campaigns, organised a Women's Wellness Festival, engaged in cross-party groups and been featured in the Scottish Evening News. Kirstine, Rebecca and Claire all work full-time, have long-term health conditions and family lives.
Well, who's going to win this one?
Gillian. The Children's Health Scotland SMS Hub.
Thank you very much. And genuinely surprised. That's fantastic. And we'd like to thank children and young people that we work with and the Alliance for the funding. Our hub is something that's grown from an original project that the Alliance funded, and we have a community of children and young people right across Scotland, and it's really important. So thank you very much. What do you think? What do you think this is? I think it will be 2 weeks. So we're going to have a very special hub coming up for Halloween. very soon. And I thought that would be
Quite a lot to feel that in November. But we've had the My Health, My Right campaign that we've got going, all about
brilliant work, and I hope you enjoy it. We put it somewhere special so we can do it. Thanks very much. I think we're on to our penultimate award. We're flying through them now. So next we come to the Sensory Loss Positive Self-Management Award in partnership with the Alliance's Sensory Hub. Now, this award aims to raise the profile of good self-management work being done in the sensory loss sector throughout Scotland. And again, we have some amazing nominees, so let's take a look at them.
ASIF has a genetic eye condition that might Pakistan to seek opportunities for more independent living and greater self-management of his condition in Scotland. Asif lived for a number of years with his foster family. Asif has achieved success in the self-management of his impairment and his life. He now lives independently in his own home and has mastered the use of public transport as a visually impaired person. Asif has greatly impressed Glasgow Disability Alliance through his development towards independent living and self-management. Jennifer Murray. Jennifer Murray is a remarkable individual who has made significant contributions to deafblind Scotland. She is fully blind and has hearing loss. Jennifer has volunteered her time to provide peer support and mentorship in digital technology. This nomination acknowledges the personal sacrifices she has made to improve the lives of deafblind individuals. Jennifer's enthusiasm and ambition in sharing her expertise with members is commendable. She has consistently demonstrated reliability and passion in her role as a volunteer. Her commitment to empowering others through digital technology is truly inspiring, and her contributions have had a lasting impact on the lives of blind individuals within the organisation.
More amazing stories here, but who are going to take this one?
Jennifer Murray.
That's a delight. The late taker, Jennifer. Be up there.
I'd just like to say thank you so much for this. This really means a lot. I'm a bit stuck for once at the moment, but really unexpected, and I'd like to thank organisations such as Deafblind Scotland and others, as well as my family, my partner, and members of staff such as Isabella and Julie from Deafblind Scotland for believing in me all the way through.
But you do some incredible work like others, but what does it mean to you to win an award like this?
It means a lot because there's someone who uses assistive technology every day. I really know the impact it makes in terms of life-changing solutions, and this will always evolve. So personally it means a lot because, as I said, I use different apps, different devices, and assistive technology or universal technology daily, and it helps me overcome challenges that others may face, but also it's really, really good to share that knowledge, skills and experience with others, either in a similar situation to me or just in general for those who are interested to know about it.
Jenna, that's like good. Has it been lovely to be here and amongst all these people and celebrate tonight?
Definitely, and everyone else as well. Amazing work everyone in this room does, every organisation, every person does great work, and it's lovely to be recognised for that and everything that we do as well. Good up, keep going.
Big round of applause for Jim. Remarkable. So that brings to our final award of the night. And this year, in partnership with the Alliance Links Worker Programme, the shortlist for the self-management in the Community Award went to public vote. Nearly 900 unique votes cast across the 5 shortlisted nominees. This award is an opportunity to local communities or individuals who have worked to create improvements to support people to live well within their community. So let's take a look at our finalists.
Health All Round, Walk with a Dog, Pete McDowell. Health All Round is a community health initiative based in southwest Edinburgh. They use a community development approach to improve health outcomes for local people and reduce the impact of economic and social inequalities on health and well-being. Walk with a Dog is part of the organisation's Walk for Green service and is a walking programme for everyone interested in taking steps for a healthier lifestyle. Individuals take a few minutes to learn about a current health topic from a healthcare provider, then spend the rest of the hour enjoying a healthy walk and fun conversation. The Walk with a Dog is different from other walking groups and is an innovative way of bringing the medical environment to a neutral milieu, therefore making it more accessible and targeting the current power dynamic of a doctor and patient that often prevent productive consultation between an individual and practitioner. By making their practitioner a fellow walker, individuals feel encouraged to approach them and ask questions they otherwise would not feel comfortable asking, improving their knowledge and understanding regarding their health. And by being amongst the individuals who are accessing services, GP better understands their needs and can engage in a more person-centred and holistic discussion, as well as learning how to better embed this way of consultation into their practice. Moira Anderson Foundation Positive Steps Project. Moira Anderson Foundation provides support for people affected by child sexual abuse. Most people we see suffer from long-term health conditions due to past experiences. Positive Steps is a self-management project offering a range of support for adults with long-term health conditions, including individual support, complementary therapies, a 12-week self-management programme and peer support. Services are delivered from their premises in Airdrie, North Lanarkshire, various locations in Glasgow and virtually. They see people Scotland-wide. The project and services have been informed by people living with long-term health conditions, and they are delivered by people with long-term health conditions and make a huge positive impact on the lives of individuals living with long-term health conditions, their families and carers. The project has been running now for 8 years, directly reaching approximately 1,000 people, helping them to self-manage and take control of their health and their lives. In addition, this project has a positive impact on the lives of families, friends and communities. North Highland Women's Wellbeing Hub. The Hub is an entirely volunteer-led lived experience non-profit group which is raising awareness for women's health in the Highlands and campaigning for health improvements around women's health. Under the Hub, they run 4 support groups for endometriosis, menopause, period health and general women's health with over 600 members. It is a little community for women in the North, offering safe spaces for women to really be themselves, tackling inequalities, isolation, loneliness and taboo subjects. In just a year, they have run a number of awareness raising campaigns, organised a Women's Wellness Festival, engaged in cross-party groups and been featured on the Scottish Evening News. Kirstine, Rebecca and Claire all work full-time, have long-term health conditions and family lives. Edinburgh Mental Health and Berwickshire Housing Association Be Well project. The Be Well partnership between Penumbra and Berwickshire Housing Association, BHA, provides a highly innovative and different form of tenancy support to people whose mental health needs are impacting on their ability to manage their tenancy. BHA funds Penumbra to provide support to tenants at risk of tenancy loss. A small team works intensively with individuals to identify their own outcomes and self-management approaches. There are no time limits, no set hours, and no predefined outcomes or indicators. Everything is built on the relationship with the tenants and understanding what works for them. It is built on a fundamental value base that when people are supported in respectful relationships which prioritise what they think matters rather than service-led outcomes, people are more than capable of identifying what self-managing and taking control of their lives looks like. The Voluntary Action Orkney Island Self-Management Group. VAO's Island Self-Management Group is for residents of Orkney's non-linked isles living with long-term conditions. The group has three main elements: educational talk, learning new self-management mechanisms, and facilitated peer support. The group focuses on broad interventions and empowers individuals to live their lives on their own terms. The non-linked isles can only be reached by boat or plane, and as a result, group members living in these smaller, more remote island areas are unable to access many of the health and social care services offered on mainland Orkney. The online delivery of the group, bringing opportunities to increase self-management awareness, skills and relationships across geographically distanced areas, is helping to create a trusted and supportive community within a community. This project is pioneering in Orkney as an example of how technology can connect individuals to self-manage with a shared experience of life on the non-linked islands. Together for learning and peer support, the project and the community leads the way and builds the capacity for other services who might similarly engage with the non-linked isles.
Well, important groups right across the country here, but Gillian, who is our final winner of the night?
It's the Moira Anderson Foundation.
I'm a person of very, very few words. On behalf of the Moira Anderson Foundation, with clients and the Alliance for supporting us. Thank you. Do you have anything like to add? Yeah, and I would just like to say thank you to everybody that voted, because this was the category that went to the public vote. So, and again, the benefit of the amazing.
A night. An incredible, emotional, powerful night that leaves you feeling inspired, I think, every time. So it's a fantastic one. And that is the end of the awards. So it just falls to me now to invite Sarah Redmond, Chief Officer of Development at the Alliance, to reflect on the evening and everything that we have heard of. Please put your hands together.
Well, what an evening, what an incredible evening. It falls to me to express my congratulations to everyone who's been shortlisted here tonight. Also to the award winners. What an incredible evening. when we found that we wouldn't have the Scottish Parliament available for tonight's awards, we wondered how it would feel, but I think you could probably all agree it still felt as impactful and as grand an occasion as ever. So we might well be back here next year. So I just want to express my thanks to everyone for helping to continue to promote and showcase the important contribution that self-management holds. A range of approaches, a range of support that help people to live well on their terms. And it's such a privilege for me to be able to stand here to represent the Alliance as our host for the awards annually. Because self-management continues to be so important to our mission, making sure that we change the story about health and well-being from what's the matter with you to what matters to you. I'm so grateful to Darren for sharing his powerful story about self-management from his own personal perspective. Because the importance of stories, I think, has woven through tonight, and Gillian reflected on that as well earlier. And I was reminded of the quote by Maya Angelou as I was thinking about what could I share tonight to help us conclude tonight's affairs. And she said, there's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside. And when we began the awards over 10 years ago, we understood that relationships are the essence of our collective impact, of changing our culture to that culture of what matters to you. Sharing those deeply held stories helps us to slowly build trust. And over time, it helps us to see that whole person in all of us and moves us away from those stereotypes of an identity, a condition, a label. I really think that we all have those stories inside of us. We all are a whole world within us that is waiting to be told. And I think disruption in our life makes those stories that we tell about ourselves even more important to be heard and to be listened to. It helps us to be bound to other people, to our past, and it also helps us to imagine our future. I think there's freedom in the stories we're telling tonight about the difference that we're trying to make in the health and social care system that we want to see. So that is what is so important for me about our awards, because you're describing the possible future in this present moment. So we say it every year, but you really are all winners, because you're helping us to shape this future culture. So before I conclude and let everyone just enjoy the celebrations, their recognition that you've all gained tonight, a few thank yous to me. Thank you to Gillian, Mackay, MSP for bearing with us and coming back. You're a wonderful host. Thank you so much. And also our thanks to Laura again for really sharing the importance of self-management and helping us to host tonight's awards. Thank you also to the Minister for Public Health and Women's Health, Jenny Minto, MSP, and also on behalf of Scottish Government for your ongoing support to the self-management agenda in Scotland. Thank you to the judges, who I think you'll all agree had the unenviable task of deciding who to award the awards tonight. And also to the Radisson Blue, who, when they heard about the purpose of tonight's awards, actually offered this room for free to us because they really recognised this was something they also wanted to be part of. And finally, it would be remiss of me not to thank all of the amazing colleagues at the Alliance, and in particular to Louise, to Barbara, to Grace, but to the whole team for helping to put on tonight. For those of you that know the team, this is not only one of the most important nights for them, it's also one of their favourite nights because they just love getting to share and recognise all of the work that we're doing. So there's still another day of self-management events tomorrow. Please, find out more about what's on offer tomorrow. I think there is Moira Anderson Foundation are holding an open day. And also we've got a webinar looking at research and evidence around self-management hosted by Professor Lisa Kidd. If you've not already done so, please help us to shape the future in this present moment and share your hopes for what self-management could look like in the next 15 years. We still have more to do to change that culture. So we're really keen to know what your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions are, and also just keep working with us. Keep connecting with us, sharing your work and contributing to this important agenda. So I'm going to hand back to Laura, but just thank you again to everyone. Safe onwards travels, and I really hope you've enjoyed tonight. Thank you.
So much, Sarah. Well, that is almost it. We're just about to let you go, but for all the nominees, there are certificates. So please, I think just at the front table here, come and collect your certificate. And also, if you would like a photograph with any of your colleagues or anyone at your table, then please meet yourself known to Barbara. There's Barbara. There she is, up at the back, hiding up there at the back. And she'll get him in, or the photographers come up and take some pictures of you for this special night. But that's it from me. Thank you so much, and I'll hopefully see you again. Have a great night. Thank you.